me just listen to this question. You're right, Sue Nichols did it, but who played it before Sue Nichols? Can you remember?
No, I can't remember who played it before.
Foxie was a big fan.
Yeah, I don't
remember.
Because Sue Nichols definitely wasn't from the start. Was the character from the start?
The character was from the start.
Wasn't
then
that
she
old
took over.
bird from the Flash advert, was it?
No, she played the
No,
witch.
she played McWitch.
What was her name? She was a great character.
Oh, God. She's sadly no longer with us, but she was wonderful and a very good writer.
Flash cleans baths without scratching.
Molly Weir.
That was it.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But the original Miss Popoff, sorry to interrupt you, guy, because I have to, because it's always fascinating, this, was Linda LaPlante.
I used to watch it every day when it used to be on TV, and it was a brilliant programme. And I also like some of the work you've been doing as well, because you've done a lot of programmes, and especially Cold Off, what you were talking about a minute ago.
Yes.
And I used to I've watched that a few times. It's a brilliant programme. It's a pity it went off there, really.
I know.
Good.
Didn't ITV try and bring it back one Christmas and they messed it all up and they weren't going to use
Oh, yeah, it was terrible. And it was, they really, made a terrible pig's ear out of it. It was awful. So it was a great failure. But still, the original was great. You can get it on DVD, and I'm pleased to say we get a bit of money every time you buy it.
Oh, good. And David, I'm going to get rid of you now because you're frightening me.
Okay. Keep up the good work, Alex Dyke, and I'm listening to you live on there.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
It didn't sound.
Listen, Christopher, we've got so much to talk about because you've been in so many great things and you must have some great stories to tell at dinner parties. I'll not ask you in a minute about probably my favourite programme. If you take out Bilko and I Love Lucy, my favourite comedy is probably Whatever Happened to the Lightly Lads, and you were in that, so I want to talk to you about that. But let's go to Keith the Trucker in Romsey. Hello, Keith.
Oh, Alex, how are you?
It's Christopher Biggins.
Yes, Safari's the goodie.
Absolutely. Well,
How are you?
It's Christopher Biggins.
Yes, Safari's the goodie.
absolutely. Well done. How are you?
I'm very well, Christopher, thank you.
Good.
Good stuff, mate. Yeah, just a general inquiry. Were you still living in Salisbury?
I absolutely. My parents still live in Salisbury, and my brother lives in Salisbury, and his wife and 2 children. Yes, that's where I was brought up. I was born in Oldham, but my mother, who's a Hampshire hog, hated Oldham, and she brought me down, brought the whole her husband, my father, and myself in a Pickford's lorry, and I was dressed in cotton wool, and I'm still allergic to cotton wool to this day. So there's a fascinating story. But I brought the whole of my life with Salisbury, and I started my career in Salisbury.
Hang on, how would you know you are still allergic to cotton wool now? How old are you?
Because I am. I'm 58, but I am.
You no need for cotton wool at 58.
How do you know?
Well, you wouldn't, would you?
You might.
So I've heard.
Yes.
Yeah, would you be playing the Playhouse in Salisbury or not?
Oh, sadly, we're not going with it to the Playhouse with this play. No, unfortunately. It would have been lovely, because I'd love to go back home.
Yeah, nice to talk to you.
And you too.
Thank you, Keith. Right, quickly then, the play what I wrote. I am confused about this. I know it's played Broadway, and I thought, hang on, Eric and Ernie weren't really famous over there. They did Ed Sullivan and stuff like that in the 60s. Never really made it over there. But is this Eric and Ernie? Is it about it? Is it 2 guys who do a tribute to Eric? I'm confused, Christopher.
Well, it is a tribute. I mean, I remember seeing the first night in the West End with the 2 guys who wrote the play playing what you may call Eric and Ernie. And what it is, it's them discussing everything at the beginning, and one of them wants to write a play, very much like Ernie always wrote those plays. And then the second act is, and they're trying to get a celebrity to come along, Ian McKellen or Derek Jacobi, and they end up with me. And what happens is they do the play, which is about the French Revolution, and we do this hysterical play. Now, what is interesting about it is you don't really have to know much about Eric Morecambe and Ernie Wise, because it is so funny in its own way. I mean, obviously they do a lot of things that Eric and Ernie do, like characterization. Tell you, the 2 boys, Andrew Cryer and Greg Haste, who play the 2 boys, are brilliant. And I watch them every night because I'm not in the first act. And it is wonderful. Like last night at the theatre in the Isle of Wight, it was a small house, about 100 people, but they were fantastic and they really, really enjoyed it.
How does it make you feel when you've worked on some great projects, you've worked in some beautiful theatres, you've done big TV shows, and here you are, it's a very cold night in March 2007, and you're on the Isle of Wight, and less than 100 people, or around 100 people have turned up.
It's disappointing, as you can imagine. But those 100 people gave so much that by the end of the evening we were as high as kites. And interestingly enough, last night I put in, because I'm staying with some friends in Cowes, and I put into my navigation system the postcode, which took me to a lavender farm just outside Newport.
Oh, I know what you mean.
So then I had to ring and find out, and then I eventually found myself on an estate with Sainsbury's, and then there was the most unbelievable storm with lightning and with hailstones as big as... I mean, I was terrified. I was sitting there thinking, what am I doing here? You know, but we get to the theatre, which is not strictly a theatre. I mean, it's a little bit
clinical, the Medina,
isn't
it?
Is.
It's like, yeah. Did you find that with the Medina Theatre?
I think it's because it's modern, isn't it?
It's very 80s.
And it's also because it's a school, you know, and they sort of... I mean, it's odd. But anyway, so that aside, and of course, you know, the staging has to be rejigged because it's not... It doesn't have wing space. It doesn't have anything there, really. And then, so we're all laughing about the hideousness of it all. And then suddenly the audience come in and make it all for that trip across the water to the Isle of Wight.
Is it a really funny play where you're clutching your sides laughter?
Well, there are moments when there's that wonderful thing where you see people move forward laughing and then move back. It's like a sort of wave. And they do that a lot in this play. It is funny.
There's nothing better than a tonic of really deep laughter, is it? We were talking about this the other day. There's nothing better than actually holding your sides laughing.
Oh, it's the best. I mean, it's the best tonic, and you know, laughter is free unless you have paying to go and see it, of course. But I mean, you know, if we laugh at home, that is wonderful. You know.
So in this play, is there always a celebrity special guest who's not announced? Then
there is.
See, I was hoping it was Roger Moore. To be honest,
well, I'm sure you were.
It was Roger Moore in Broadway.
He didn't do it though. He rehearsed and then he couldn't do it.
Oh, really? Because his picture's on the website.
I know, but I think... Well, perhaps he did do it in Broadway. Certainly in London, he...
Now, wasn't that a thing in the 80s? He was going to go on stage and sing, and he...
Oh, that was the Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, so it wasn't that.
With Michael Ball.
So
who's really confused?
Who's been the celebrity in the West End?
They've had... Oh, my God. When I saw it was Ray Fiennes.
Right.
Ian McKellen's done it. Cilla Black's done it. What's her name? Kylie Minogue did it. I mean, a huge array.
Are you on the whole of this tour now?
No. I have 2 weeks off after we're Isle of Wight for 3 days. That's the other story. We're 3 days in each place, which is quite something. So the travelling is unbelievable. Then we're next week are in Horsham. And then I have 2 weeks off, and then they bring in, and they have 1 week off, but in the week that they are playing, they're in Scotland, and they've got those two camp decorators.
Oh, Colin and Justin.
Colin and Justin.
Oh, I can't stand them.
Well, it's a good job they're not in the Isle of Wight then. Yeah. Speaking to you now.
Is it a camp part?
No, it's not a camp part at all. I mean, they've had a girl...
Why are you saying that, Foxie? It's not camp, I keep telling you.
But they've had a girl from, whose name escapes me now, who was in EastEnders, played Barbara Windsor's daughter. She's been doing it for about 3 or 4 weeks. And Lisa Riley did it. They can have the odd camp woman.
Right. So...
It's funny though, you're the surprise guest, but actually to get bums on seats, here you are promoting it.
I know, and no one's this is the first time I have promoted it, funnily enough.
So why did you come and do the show then? Did you
your radio show?
Yeah.
No, I now know though.
No one warned you about it?
No one.
Because Jeffrey Hughes, who's now a good friend, he's a lovely, lovely guy, lives on the Isle of Wight, the actor Jeffrey Hughes. When he came in to do the show, he was very, very nice, and he came round my house for a cup of coffee, and he said, "Do you know what? So many people warned me not to do your show," he said. And someone else said it to us quite recently, yeah, because they thought, you know, we were going to take the mickey. The thing is, we...
Don't you we, it's you, you're arrogant and rude.
You know, some